to finding calm in the chaos. I am Denise Sith, and this is my podcast. Hello, everyone. Wow. Okay, so welcome back to another episode of Finding Calm in the Chaos. In case you just don't know, I'm Denise Sith. And today I'm going to talk about something. But before I get into that, today's topic, I just want to put a little disclaimer out there. So I've gotten so many messages about this last Saturday's coffee talk. And yeah. So for those who are, I guess, sensitive to profanity, please know you probably don't want to listen to the coffee talks. I mean, I want you to listen to them, right? I'd love for you to listen to them. But I know that some people don't like profanity, and that's why I do my weekly podcast. But every other Saturday is a coffee talk. And if you actually read the description prior and listen to the music going in, the intro, you will hear that those episodes are off cuff, right? I'm not scripted. I have no notes. I have no sponsorship for that one. It's strictly just me, mano a mano, just talking like I would do my friends at a coffee talk. So don't send me messages about how you don't like profanity. Then don't listen to coffee talk. Because I literally put it on the actual podcast description. It's actually in the intro, and I've made it very, very clear on all of my social media, including the podcast pages. So there's that. Because no, I'm not going to stop swearing just because you don't like it. Just like, again, let's be concerned. If you don't like something, I'm not going to change who I am as a person because you're uncomfortable with it. However, I actually did something for people who are uncomfortable with profanity. I do a regular weekly podcast. So let's jump into that. So again, welcome to another episode of Finding Calm in the Chaos. And today we're going to talk about whining. So most people, I'm not going to lie. So basically I'm doing this because I had about 15 messages on my coffee talk about basically just people whining about how how they feel I can effectively deliver a message without using profanity. Okay. Or you can just stay in your own yard and not use profanity and listen to my regular episodes, like I just explained, that don't have profanity in them. So I decided, you know what, we really need to break down whining. Because whining has a lot to do with the success that people have. And you can not agree with this all you want, but I'm going to break it down with you. I spent a lot of time breaking this down. So I found that there are 4 things that go on with people who in life need to whine about stuff, right? So if you have a whiner in your life, it's the same person. I used to be a whiner. So I'm like, wow, this is coming super easy to me, how to break this down, because I used to complain, and we're just going to use whining and complaining synonymously. So, winning isn't everything. Okay? It's not. But wanting to win is. Who doesn't want to be a winner? Right? Everybody wants to be a winner. But the truth of the matter of life is not everybody is at everything. And even if someone appears to be a winner, because here's the thing too, in today's day and age, everything is so perfect for them, because you're looking at their social media page or what they're releasing you to see. Everybody is not winning at everything, period. Because if you weren't, you really aren't living life, are you? Think about that. So I have some ideas about that. There is being a winner and being a whiner come hand in hand with life. And so there are a couple things that I found, and I'm going to share with you that I think really can decide whether or not you're whining too much, because it's kind of like this balance that you have to find. You have to find a balance between whining and winning. Okay, that's always that happy medium that our world currently does not understand. You're either all left or you're all right. You're all up or you're all down. There is no middle ground anymore, and it's a very lonely place here for a lot of us. So we would like more people to join us. So maybe this will help that out. So number one, the first thing we have to do is to not be just whining about things in life when it doesn't work out your way, is accept the fact that life is not always fair. We are raising a whole couple generations now, of people who don't understand that people lose. You know, oh, everybody showed up today and one team won, but everybody gets a trophy. BS. I do not like that. If somebody worked really hard and trained and studied and did whatnot to prepare himself or herself for this ultimate exam, and then next thing you know, you win, but everybody got a trophy. I'm sorry. And I'm not talking about special circumstances, special needs. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people who are fortunate to have all their God-given health and talents, and you went above and beyond a situation to win in whatever matter, and you did, but everybody behind you that lost got a trophy. That's nonsense. And we're actually removing that win from that person. They should be rewarded. And you know what else we're taking away? That all those losers are going to be now good losers. Well, now they're bad losers because they got a trophy for doing nothing. But also, what about sportsmanship and a collaborative congratulations? Wow. What did Julie do to win so well? Oh my gosh, I want to talk to her. Or him, Maybe Mike did a great job on, working on his car and his team, and they won the race. So everybody could you imagine if you were in NASCAR and you spent all this money and all this stuff on cars and sponsors and touring and doing all this stuff and paying all this crew for stuff, and then you win a race and everybody got a big ass trophy. Like, it seems ridiculous when you think of it that way. But yet that's what we're doing in an area where youth are being raised and thinking that that's okay. And that's how the world works. And it doesn't, because you need to accept the fact that life is not always fair. It's normal to want more. It's normal to want better things in life. It's normal to seek goals that are beyond your present circumstances. It is not natural to get everything you want. I'm going to repeat that for the people in the back. It's normal to want more. Okay? It's normal to want better things in life. It's normal to seek goals beyond your present situation. But it is not natural to get everything you want. It's just not life. So you need to accept the fact that life is always not fair. Period. You can get most of what you want in life if you can just keep whining at bay and understand that, right? That life isn't not always fair. Did you work for it? I did. Could you have worked better next time to try to keep going towards that goal? Sure. Maybe not. Maybe you got a new goal. Is it the end of your life? No, it's not. Because losing happens. And we do not get. It is an unreasonable expectation in our life period in this world to think that we are going to get everything we want. It's not natural at all. Number 2, this one was interesting because I thought about this and it brought up some really just personal stuff to me. Okay. So if you're finding you're in a whining, right? This is as if you're finding you're in a whining situation where that is taking away from you being a winner. Okay. You need to put your situation in proper perspective, right? You're choosing the right perspective for your situation. So something comes up, you start whining about it because it didn't work out your way. Everybody hates me. I can't believe that this is happening to me again. The woe is me's start kicking in. And you got to really start putting your situation in a proper perspective, because you just lost. You just spent a poop ton of time putting something together. You may have worked on it for months, weeks, years, and then it comes to this finale ending and it just crapped out on you. And that can be upsetting. But you can't let the whining perspective, the negativity creep in. You have to see the perspective of why that situation was lost. It could be, I don't know what it is, right? It could be anything. But one of the things that I thought of was, if you're traveling on a train and you're going through the mountains and you're thinking, I'm here, how am I ever going to get through these mountains? It's taken forever. You're going through little black tunnels. All you see are trees. In some places, you don't even see like the sky. And it's the longest trip in the world. You're on this train. You want to get off. You're done. And the perspective is sometimes you're looking at it from a different view, right? So you're at a bottom perspective right there, right? You're looking at it while you're in the midst of your situation. But if you remove yourself from that immediate situation and you change your perspective outlook, now place yourself on a plane and fly over that mountain area that you just took a train through. And now you're looking above it at all of these beautiful mountains and white caps and greenery and all these different shades of things and rock formations. And when you're up there, you're like, wow, it's just like this little circle area. It's all this land around it, but this tiny little mountain range in the middle. And you're like, okay, well, it wasn't that bad. Because you're looking at it from a different perspective. So sometimes you have to remove yourself from your situation and kind of spectrally look at it, right? Almost like timeline training, right? So if you've ever done like any kind of timeline, you can Google it. Sometimes, our life is a timeline, but sometimes if you look at it from a different perspective, when you're in the midst of it, you're looking around on a battlefield and everyone's firing around you and their cannons going off and things blowing up and, and people running and screaming. And I mean, just think about that. You're in a situation like that. That's sometimes what life feels like. But if you need to remove yourself from the situation to think proper, you get in a helicopter or a plane and now you're looking down at it and you realize it's basically just like that warfield is like you arguing with your kids. And now it doesn't look like a battlefield. It looks like you sitting in your kitchen arguing with, teenagers that are being teenagers. And now it kind of puts it in perspective. Okay, well, first I thought I was going to have to get like, a grenade out and start like putting combat gear on. But now I just need to know that, I was overwhelmed. And now that I'm looking at it the proper perspective, just going to ask them to leave the kitchen so I can continue to make dinner. So perspective is everything. It allows for you to see a bigger picture and remove yourself from the situation that's overwhelming, that's causing the whiner situation. And that is a big deal, right? We spend so much time always about things that are happening to me. I will tell you that if you keep, and this was me big time, everybody was doing stuff to me. I have autoimmune. Why don't people just understand me? Nobody can be sicker than me. Nobody's been through as much stuff as me. Nobody, my dad was the blah, blah, blah. And you know what? It's just simply not true. There's always someone going through a hardship or situation that's harder than yourself, which could, when you, in reality, when you're looking at it from a different perspective, is quite crappy. Like for me, my situation was not ideal, but it wasn't as horrible as could have been. I'm here, I'm a healthy adult, is reasonably healthy. I have a home, I have a son, I have a family, we are financially okay. We're happy, we're doing what we can, we're taking vacations. I turned out okay, but a lot of people don't, because they succumb to, you know, their thoughts and the depression or the anxieties or the addictions. They seek an escape. So there's always something more negative than what's going on in your life. You just need to look at it perspective wise. So there's 2 in the book right there. And we're going to take a quick break to jump into my favorite sponsor, only because I just absolutely adore this family business. And also, they're really good friends of mine. And I absolutely love the products that they sell. See you in a bit. Hey friends, I've got a question for you. How much do you love your dog? This was an easy question for me. Lots. As I started to look at the ways I could increase her quality of life, I realized there were just too many options. How was I going to choose? That's why I partner with my friends over at Pet Matrix. Taking a scientific approach, they combine organic, natural compounds with highly effective peptides to aid in my dog's health journey. All you need to really know is that the results are nothing short of amazing. All I had to do was sprinkle the dry formula onto her food once a day, and I've got my Shiba back. Our Princess Shika has been using these products for more than 6 months now, and Pet Matrix has given our 14-year-old Shiba Inu the energy back in her stride. She's out in the yard taking steps in a single bound and chasing down the bunnies. I also shared Pet Matrix with my mom to help with her 15-year-old Chihuahua Molly. And like a lot of dogs, Molly is tightly wound like a rubber band when it comes to fireworks. Adding a little of the Pet Matrix Calm to her water every morning gave Molly her first 4th of July without the shakes and crying. And that's what we want for our dogs. Pet Matrix helped me understand that building around the 3 pillars of health, immune and gut support, cognitive function, and mobility and inflammation, we can not only increase their quality of life, but also increase their quantity of life. Shika and I are all in. You can check out Pet Matrix at www.mypetmatrix.com and tell them Denise sent you, because we love family-owned businesses. You will receive a 15% discount using promo code Denise15 at checkout, so you can help your furry babies be all they can be. Again, that's www.mypetmatrix.com and receive a 15% discount with promo code Denise15 at checkout. DENISE 15. Welcome back. Welcome back. All right. So, today we're talking about something that pretty much affects everybody in the world, and that's taking life circumstances and having trouble becoming basically a winner in your life because you're too busy whining about everything. And winning isn't everything, but wanting to win is. And just some basic concepts and practices that we can take to kind of like check ourselves, right? And make sure that we're on the right path to winning versus whining. And I'm not saying that we never whine, but we need to make sure that, when you have your small pity party, you send it off, you get up, you brush yourself off, and you start moving towards your next goal, your next win, right? But So we talked about accepting the fact that life is not always fair because it's not. It's just not. And our society sets us up that we're all winners and we're just simply not, and it creates a lot of trouble in individuals in general when they then come upon hardship in today's world. Um, we talked about putting your situation in proper perspective, right? That when you're in a situation where you're finding yourself whining, that you can really snap yourself out of it if you just choose the right perspective. And let's jump into, so I think a third one is, it's going to sound kind of weird, but you practice positive neutrality. I know this is crazy, but positive neutrality is everything. Because, if something's bad, you get upset. It's pretty natural if something bad or negative happens to you to be upset. That's an emotion. You need to embrace that emotion. It's like grieving for yourself. If you don't become upset or feel bad, you're not going through your stage of recovery. But you can then put things in perspective, realize life is not always fair, because we like to do that too, right? It's not fair. Why does this always happen to me? You have to assume positivity, a neutral stance, right? God's closed these doors because he has a greater vision for me. Don't jump to conclusions about a situation, right? Because we're supposed to be minding our own business. It's not our business what other people think about us. We're not supposed to interject and totally come to all these conclusions about what coulda, woulda, shoulda, mighta happened. It happened. It's done. I'm not going to die. Life is not always fair. This has happened. I will live. I don't always get what I want. Find the proper perspective and then reel yourself back in, right? Because there is a bigger vision for you, right? Your path wasn't meant to go that way. Now, I firmly believe that God has chosen our paths, and sometimes he takes us on some crazy roads. But then I look at that statement and I say, sometimes God gives us a path and then we choose to go all the way, all over the place. And we might cross it, interject it, ride with it for a while, leave it, come on back. But eventually we're going to be on the same path. We just chose to go off it. Like we off-road a lot in life. Me, I was a professional off-roader. Not going to lie. It's just crazy. But I did. I just was like a professional off-roader. Sometimes I feel like, there's so many situations that I've personally had where I look back and I'm thinking, what the heck was I thinking? I mean, I get that. I was kind of like a positive whiner. That's almost, I feel, kind of even more dangerous, right? It's like a loaded gun versus, just having bullets. I literally would always strive for more. I was never one to sit back and not do anything, ever. It's not in my genes. But I will complain the whole freaking time I was doing it. I'm going to go after this goal. And then I would never shut up about and complain about it, why I had to do this all over again. Because, I've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 to 6 industry changes in my life, which I'm finding out now is actually quite normal. If you've been in the same industry doing the same thing for more than 20 years, you are a rarity, my friend, or you're extremely old school. And that's because we were always taught that being the safe was better than pursuing what made us happy, right? You hear all those sayings about how, if you do something and it doesn't seem like work, keep doing that. That's what you're supposed to do in life. I feel that way now. But I could never work a corporate job again, ever. Ever. I mean, and when people are like, I know, but if you had to, nope, I wouldn't. I would literally come up with another business or entrepreneur situation that I ran so that I wouldn't have to do that because I couldn't survive in today's world. Well, I could survive, but I would be taking out people by the masses. It just my personality doesn't roll with the current corporate environment. I'm not a follower, I'm a leader. I'm also not someone who needs somebody checking up on me every 20 seconds. I need you to give me a job and I want to do it unsupervised and I don't need you to check up on me and I don't need you to know that it's due Saturday because I finished it Tuesday. And now I'm working on something else that nobody instructed me to do. It just needed to be done. That just doesn't happen anymore. But if you're in the same job, nobody can blame you because again, we were raised in this societal norm that security, a paycheck every week or every 2 weeks, however you get paid, it's regular, right? And then regularly you've got insurance, that's security, possibly a retirement or, contribution plan. That's security. Makes us feel safe, right? We hate it and we wish we could do more. I'll never understand why we work our butts off here in America to have our employers have to give us permission to take our vacation days that we earn. Think about that. Some of us are in situations right now, grown adults, that work every day. They do what they're supposed to do. They're loyal employees to their corporations. They have to fill out a permission slip to use their vacation days. And they could actually be declined. I just will never understand that. So just, again, kind of I tangented there. You know me, guys. You know how I am. Practice positive neutrality. Get rid of that whining. Don't assume your difficulties are negative, right? Don't assume it. Perspective. These all run into one another. And also, let's all do this. Think about this. If you are repeatedly in a negative state or crisis, like you're in constant stuff is going down in your life, you can't go to a grocery store with something going down. Every friend that texts you is an issue. You can't go anywhere. Everybody's out to get you. Anytime you walk to any place in public, there's this problem or something that set you off. Yeah, that's probably when you need to stop blaming others. Okay? And stop blaming luck, bad luck, God, and start reflecting inward. Because usually, I'm not even going to say usually, it's because you're accepting and sending off the wrong energy, period. I call it the Eeyore syndrome. I went to the store again and this happened. They didn't have the right thing. Now I can't have my favorite dinner. And then I came home and some lady next to me stared at me in my car. And I caught every light home. That's Eeyore stuff, man. That's you. That's how you're receiving things. And you know why all that stuff's happening to you? Because you're in that energy and you're attracting it to yourself. So you really need to dig deep because that's like a whole nother issue. You need to pull yourself out of the hole you're in because if you want to see light and not have like people underground, the undergroundness around you, you need to get out of the damn hole you dug for yourself and move up a floor or a flight and grab some new energy and see how things change. Period. And, also I think we need to, and this is a big one for me, okay? And I'm going to use a really good, like, in your face example because I thought of a few things and I was kind of like pussyfooting around the idea. And then I thought, the reality of it is this, but you need to see, like truly see the benefit in your difficulty, right? When difficulties fall on us in life, there is a benefit for them happening. Our road is for something, even if it's your rock bottom. Okay. People are like, oh, this horrible things are happening to them. It might be someone that's under horrible addiction of any kind of thing. And, how could it get much worse for them? And then all of a sudden, like a celebrity, right? How could it get much worse for them? And then it does, right? And then you're like, whoa, that's crazy. Didn't see that coming. I did. Because here's the deal. Until we see the benefit in our difficulties, that's why you can't just send anybody to rehab. They have to be ready to be rehabbed. If they're not seeing the benefit in their difficult situation. And obviously, I know things are much deeper when it comes to addiction. For me with alcohol addiction, I just don't go there anymore because I don't want to be in those places. But when I hit rock bottom like 3 times. It is what it is, right? And then you're like, what happened? I'm never doing this again. Then it happens again. And it's even worse. And you're like, oh my gosh, what is going on here? And then it happens a 3rd time. And I'm like, okay, 3rd time's a charm, Denise. What's the lesson to be learned here? What have you learned? Well, I learned I need to stop drinking because I can't casually drink. I need to understand that addiction runs in my family. And I might have that addiction in alcohol and shopping. Yeah, I do. I said it. And you just need to hold yourself accountable and start taking benefits. Stop whining about what puts you in that circumstance, that situation. Because I could blame my dad. I could blame my upbringing. I could, blame Tangeray. I can blame, you know what I mean? But what happened is the blame goes to me. I had no self-control over my actions, and I chose to make a bad decision rather than a good decision. And so then I became a whiner in life about everything, about, oh, this is why my circumstances are this way because whatever. And then it's like, okay, hello, how are you supposed to be a winner if you're constantly whining about stuff? There are lots of people who have been in crappy situations, growing up, childhoods, life in general, and they have made things of themselves because their minds knew that they had a greater purpose in life. They knew God had a vision for them. They accepted their situation. They knew that life didn't always promise roses, They put it in perspective and they saw the neutrality in the situation, make something positive out of a poop and kept moving. So you need to see the benefit in your difficulties. Disappointment is a coin toss, right? One side of the coin is an advantage, and the other side of the coin is a disadvantage. Think about that. Your difficulties, your disappointments in life are literally a coin toss. So get that energy high, because on either side, whether you pull the advantage or disadvantage, heads or tails, the opposite always lies on the other side. So it's a 50-50. You get to choose how you're reacting to that by seeing the benefit in your difficulty. My coin toss was autoimmune. And then I got celiac. That's a disadvantage in life, right? I would say not eating bread is a disadvantage. I love bread. I love it. I love it. And it is a disadvantage to have autoimmune, especially in today's world. Been living with it for 20 years and I still have people I don't understand how they don't know how to cough and sneeze and don't understand how to wear a mask or not, when you need to wear a mask and when you don't need to wear a mask, and why we're still testing for this but not other things. It's like, I'm not really worried about COVID, but I can tell you this, flu season's coming, baby. I'm worried about that. I am every year for 20 years. And I've remained flu free for quite some time as well. I think 12. I had it once and I'm like, dang it. And I'm pretty sure I got it from Carl. But that is my disadvantage coin, right? But what's on the other side of that coin? So yeah, I flipped a coin and I got autoimmune. 6 of them to be exact. And I decided that rather than get all tossed and get my panties in a bunch over the bad side, that I looked at the benefit of that difficulty. And the benefit is on the advantage side of that coin, I'm learning and living a better lifestyle and making better nutritional choices. Because there are people who are healthy who don't have, right? They don't have and here's something to look at, because this is why I chose this example, is if you are healthy and you live a great lifestyle and you're active and all of that, then you need to really respect and honor that you're winning in that. Because just on the other side of that coin, waiting for you to fall out of your energy and your mindset is just the opposite, right? There could be that, this is my cheat meal day. You know how I feel about cheat meals. To me, it's a cheat meal is like quit smoking for 20 years and then have a cigarette because you deserve it because you're stressed out. What? That makes no sense. To me, that's the same thing as a cheat meal. And I know people are going to be like, I can fight you over this answer, Denise. And that's fine. Everybody has their opinion, and I respect that. Look, even The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, I guess he doesn't call himself The Rock anymore. Maybe he does. I don't know. I follow him on Instagram. I find him delightful. He's hilarious. And I love how he's just, and this man works out. Like, he is committed to his body. This man posts workouts he gets up for at like 1 to 3 a.m. in the morning. That's insane. Sometimes I'm not even asleep by 1 to 3 a.m. in the morning. And I certainly can't walk down the stairs because I can't feel my leg or something's going on to work out like he does for 2 hours. That's insane. It's insane to me, but it's commitment. But he has all these crazy cheat meals. He calls them the F-its. I don't want to upset anybody. Can't say the F word. He calls it the F word, the F-its, the F-it meals. He's got a case of the F-its, and then he'll just start. He has a chef, obviously, and she makes these amazing like French toast meals with like special butter whipped things that she makes with like, and it looks amazing. But I just thought to myself, if I eat that in the amount of the quantity that he does, I would have to work out like he does. So is it really a cheat meal? I mean, I guess if I worked out 4 times a day or whatever it is for 2 hours a piece, I could eat like that. But I don't, and I have no desire to. Therefore, I'm just going to continue to make better lifestyle and nutritional choices to keep my autoimmune at bay. Because quite frankly, if I ate half the stuff he did on a cheat meal, even a bite of it, it would set me off into a flare. And it's not worth it to me. But just think of that always. See the benefit in your difficulties when you're whining, because you can win. You're being shown and directed that there's another path that you are better suited to. Your skills, your natural devices that are just in your genes. There is a better path for you. You just need to see that the disadvantage is one side of the coin that you're experiencing, and the other side of it is really the answer to what you're whining about right now. So take that opposite end of the coin and run with it, my friend. Run with it. I'm going to leave you on that note. And as always, if you love what you're hearing here, I love hearing all of your testimonies and messages that I get from everybody. Please share this podcast with your friends, subscribe, give me a review on whatever podcasting platform you listen to. All of that helps, people. Until next time. Thank you, friends, for spending this time with me today. If you found some calm listening in, please take a moment to subscribe to Finding Calm in the Chaos. And just so you don't miss out on future episodes, make sure you're receiving notifications. Thanks again. Until next time, lead with kindness.